I made the choice to get into King of the Hammers a while ago because it was one of those things where what I really liked about it was unlimited. This is when King of the Hammers first started. You could run any size tire, any engine, any number of passengers, any wheelbase, anything you want. If you could think it and build it, bring it and race it, that was the deal. It wasn't until years later when they introduced other classes, and then that unlimited class became what they call 4400 class. So then there's a stock class, a modified class, a legends class, and a UTV class. So all of those things have been added since then. And it makes for a very full week. And each one of those has a different price point to be involved in to race in it. So, and all of those races have slightly different mileage. Certainly the EMC races have a lot shorter mileage than the big 4400. Not to mention, the 4400 adds extra hard trails on the very last lap. So that's kind of how I fell in love with it. In addition to that, it was fast and it was challenging, and it involved some skill level of your own and a ton of luck. So I liked all of those factors.
There's definitely lots of luck.
Is that, what got you
and bad luck.
interested in racing KOH?
Luck,
Jamie raced us side by side. I'll show you some pictures here in a second. What sucked you into it?
I just like the feeling of accomplishment. Like even our Real Hammers experience doing, what was it, 11 trails in 4 hours?
Right.
I mean, to me, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Accomplishment. And the racing the Razor, like going down backdoor, was my biggest accomplishment.
I've got a picture of that.
I mean, that's like that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But no, it's just the challenge.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jeff, what about you? What's gotten you sucked into this?
To be honest, after the Real Hammers always been around, I mean, I think this is going to be my sixth King of the Hammers, always coming out, helping Jordan, being part of the team, which was a lot of fun. But after the Real Hammers experience, just kind of left me wanting more. And going
the opportunity
fast.
Arose.
Yeah, the co-drive. Hopefully some year I'll drive, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's really cool that we're in Jordan's old race car, and Peter was able to pick that up, so...
Yeah,
that is
super
really cool.
super
I'm
exciting.
super happy to have that back in the
awesome.
mix for sure. And Jordan, what sucked you into this? You're like the deepest sucked in right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I love the mechanical aspect. I love building the cars. I love, the trying to figure out how to make things work. Fixing things, assembling things, welding. I love welding, just everything about it. But, as far as just the racing goes, I just love the team effort, that everybody puts in, us here in the shop, me, Cole, Taylor, a lot of us that are, here grinding on this thing all year, making changes, dialing it in. And then we show up on the lake bed with even, bigger team, and everyone's got their job. Everyone knows what they're supposed to do. And then race day, everyone's finally getting to do that. It's just like that build up. And then us in the car, trying to, get that finish that we're, hoping to get obviously every year. And then, that final accomplishment when you do get to finish, and everyone's fired up.
Yeah.
It's just cool.
That's cool.
It's really cool.
Okay, why don't we switch over, show the slideshow, and each of you guys, I'm sure, will have some comments on these pictures. Are we ready for that? There we go. All right. So if you've never been, this is what Hammertown looks like, and it is packed. In fact, when you park your vehicle, your RV, your camper, your tent, whatever you're coming out there with, oftentimes when you come back later in the day, you won't even be able to figure out where you parked because more people have moved in.
It gets confusing.
This is actually one of the best pictures I've ever seen of Hammertown, so it was a great one to show everybody. At night, this is back door. It turns into an absolute Yahoo fest. And if you want to see a bunch of Yahoos wreck and roll their junk, man, have at it. So, all right. If you want to find us, this is what our garage tent looks like. And this is inside Hammertown, just outside the vendor area, like one across the street from the vendor area. And you need to find this if you want to come say hi to us. So pretty easy. I want to show everybody what that looked like. More night action. There's always a big campfire right there in town. And you can see anybody and everybody that's got a vehicle is out and driving around. And trust me, you'll feel like that when it comes time to navigate your way back. Can we go back to the show, the slideshow? There we go. There are many jumbotrons all around the area. And guys, the infrastructure that they put up in order to broadcast the live show from there is amazing. So if you can go, be there. It would be this similar to like going to a Super Bowl game, right? Like the energy, the action, everything's awesome. But if you can't go, then tune in. You can pay or get the free online thing, but it's worth every penny if you end up upgrading to pay for it. So here's Chocolate Thunder. You know, you can see there's, 20,000 people out there to watch everybody. This would be during the race or qualifying. So we're going to be qualifying back at Chocolate Thunder this year. This is, I brought this image up. This is a map, a photo of the maps that we get from King of the Hammers. And what I want to tell everybody is that the race course changes every single year. So you may know the area, you may think you got it all handled. Well, the trails change, the race course changes. It's part of what's unique about this race, and I absolutely love that. Okay, so I grew up, this is not me, this is Jamie. I grew up, racing motorcycles from an early age like this. Jamie, because he was my son, we started him on a bicycle. So, yeah, this is a great picture. So basically, me and my boys have always been into some kind of racing. As I got a family, I got a Jeep, and here's Jordan's first race car, a Pinewood Derby car. So that officially was his first race car right there. We did a lot of Jeeping, the beginning of GenRight. Here's the boys with me. This is probably 2005, late 2005. We're all out wheeling together. And if we weren't in the Jeep, the kids were driving RC stuff. In fact, Jordan's got quite a business going now, right?
Yeah.
So
those were little Walmart ones we had.
Yeah.
those were, yeah. We were into motorcycle riding and racing as well. So Jamie and I did a lot of that. And then Jordan is a little bit younger than Jamie, so he did his fair share. But we once we started our businesses, then we kind of got out of motorcycle riding. Jordan did do BMX. That's his buddy Nick Fiore.
Yeah.
I don't know where Nick's at. There's Jamie and Jordan. Jamie got into racing mountain bikes, and Jordan was like his little sidekick. There's Jamie racing.
Hey, little buddy.
So we just got racing in the blood. Oh, this was a Samurai Jamie and I built. We picked it up from a buddy of ours, Gary Hall, who lives here in Simi. And we got it super cheap, and we made the bumpers. We converted it over. We put a Jeep steering box in it. We had a good time building this thing.
Darren did
Darren
the
helped
Lincoln
out on that
locker.
too, didn't
Darren
he?
built a cage.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you
It was fun.
sold it while I was at school.
Hey, Tony.
We're not going to talk about
Have
that.
you ever built anything for Jordan that only went in reverse?
No, yes, I have.
Maybe once.
Once.
Maybe once. Hey, A for effort though.
We
killed it on that.
We killed it on that.
we
It
killed
was
it.
going to be so bitchin'.
It was looking amazing.
There's not a picture of it, but like you could see it in the background. So.
It was looking amazing
Okay.
until that moment.
So the Samurai was a fun little project, but Jamie just wasn't quite ready. Actually, I think what it was is
I was
this
like
didn't have the
15.
monster truck quality to it.
Oh boy.
That's
Oh,
good.
yeah,
you
he is
couldn't
quite the
jump it.
monster
Right.
truck driver.
So, yeah.
Maybe now.
Okay. Back to the Jeep. We did, like I said, a fair enough. Okay. Here's a great photo. Here is Jordan and Nick Fiore at the Hammers. This is at the mailbox. You got to go through Sledgehammer to get here. And this is way back in the day. In fact, this was right after I painted the Growler red, like one of the first trips.
Yeah, had to.
And look at how small they are. This is like 2005,
Yeah, if you
2006.
can't tell, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago.
Can't tell.
Couple years.
If you can't tell, yeah, maybe like a year or two.
Can't tell. Jordan has a beard now.
Again, Jordan was started racing mountain bikes with Jamie. They were getting into it. There's Jamie again. Okay, that's Jordan in the passenger seat with me. He was basically like my little sidekick. If I was going out wheeling, he wanted to go. And again, more RC cars.
Hey, painted that
Jamie
body.
tearing it up on the mountain bike. There's Jordan again with me. This is somewhere at the Hammers. Looks awkward. There's Jamie with me, also riding along. I think Jordan was hiding in the back seat.
Oh, so the yellow shirt came first.
Yeah, back when. And then, of course, RC cars.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the low-C
No.
ones.
This is
those are
Jordan
cool. I
and
had
I.
those.
We were ripping the sand dune right by Sledgehammer. Do you remember that? We were jumping it right there. That was fun. And then came along first race car. So it was. I had heard about King of the Hammers. It was time to get into it, and this opened the door for Jordan. So I'll explain here in a second. So again, I told you. Okay, there's the trophy card.
Yeah.
So Jordan and I decided we were going to trick this thing out. We were
I
going to.
mean, it was cool, but it was just kind of slow.
Yeah, and the belt kept
The
breaking.
belt,
That was,
Yeah,
the
issues.
suspension was cool and everything.
Yeah.
So we decided we were going to make our own. Like, was it like a 450?
It was a 450.
Yeah.
We were going to motor swap it.
Yeah.
No. It was a 350 ATC.
Okay,
motor.
yeah. So we took it out. Yeah. And it
Oh,
was,
we found the
chose it
special
because it had
ATC
like
that
a
had the electric
drive shaft.
start.
it had the electric
had
start
the electric
and the
start.
reverse.
That's what
Yeah.
we needed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And reverse. So the problem was it was shaft drive.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
by the time we converted everything over, it had 3 reverse speeds and 1 forward.
Yeah, we yeah.
We
Overlooked.
failed the.
It was so fun.
Now we
We
talked
should
about.
have just put like portals or something.
No, we
on
talked
it.
about building the drop box for it. We're like, okay, we could do this.
I know,
But dude,
I
we were
Could've.
by then it was like, no, let's just get you a Jeep.
I know.
Okay. So anyways,
tragic.
there's us
So
motorcycle
there's
riding.
some
There's
dude that
there's
put in
Jordan
a
and I
van.
again out at the Hammers. Okay, so this reminds me, we took the race car, Jordan, to the
movie
Desert
premiere.
People premiere in Oceanside, right? And we had to stop by the car wash because we were out at the Hammers and just caked it with
Yeah.
mud and stuff. And then we went there to do that. So that was kind of a fun picture. And then again, Jordan out there, the original 805 car. Okay, this is actually during the 2010 race coming up the Sandhill. I think I was the last one that made it up. Everybody after me had to winch. So that picture was taken by Bill Lasher and sent to me, and he said nobody made it after I did. There we are coming down. That's the exit at Riffle or Crowbar. Crowbar.
That's crowbar, yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool. I just found that today. That was kind of a cool shot. Okay, this is what got everybody excited about King of the Hammers.
That
So
year
that
was-
is me,
Yeah.
the front car, and the rear car. I can't remember the guy's name. He's a other wheeling buddy friend of mine, and this is the plaque line on Sledge, and you can see that people are standing on the race course. It was packed. It looked like a coliseum. There had to be 10,000 people in there, and nobody was moving. So I was literally running over people's ice chests as I came up because they wouldn't get out of the way.
Dude, no, yeah, that.
And that car was
year-
loud. That wasn't like a
Yeah.
quiet car. Like they knew it was running.
Dude, that was the year that I had to hike up, and I was literally walking in between the cars to like get
To
up
get
to
up
where
there.
I needed to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
And people are kicking rocks down,
down,
and like
yeah,
they
and breaking people's arms and
people,
stuff.
Yeah, got
Yeah.
broken arms
Yeah,
and
it was-
legs.
it was
and-
crazy.
Dude, it was like
So
ridiculous.
after this year is when all the rules went into place. Like everybody was pushed way back. Like it was crazy after that. But this is the year that made King of the Hammers famous. So that was 2010. So this is now 2011. The car now this is when they introduced the other classes. The car became 4485, right? So now there was the 4500 class. There was all the other classes. We were getting the car pretty dialed. We got in early on King of the Hammers, And therefore, we started getting a lot of media attention, and you know, we were really working on the car. By this time, we got the car pretty darn fast. I got hooked up with this gentleman, Brian Little, as my co-driver, and he came from the desert race side and has Dakar experience and everything, and that made all the difference. So that was pretty cool. And when I say a family event, you know, here's my dad, my Uncle Bruce, you know, everybody was coming out to see this race. It was the big thing. My mom, she was always there. This gentleman, Mike Lasher, was my team manager this year, and he's the one that introduced me to Brian Little. This poor guy never really got the credit he deserved, but he really whipped our team into shape. And this guy really, he also raced side by sides, and he had some racing experience too, but he really got us where we needed to be, and we got second place, so it was pretty darn cool. There we are on top of the car at the finish line. They didn't have jumbotrons and stuff back then. It was a bit more simple, but nevertheless, we stood on the podium, so that was cool. This is what I was talking about. So while I was driving the race car, guess who was over driving my Jeep? Jordan. So yeah, he quickly took to the wheel and was pretty interested in that, so that was cool. And by the way, back then it had a LS1 and, you know, 550 horse. It wasn't like a stock Jeep by any means. There he is sitting by the fire with, of course, an RC car missing an entire axle.
Wrenching.
So we had a kind of burgundy
Briggs?
JK for a while. Yeah, that's a long time ago up at Corey Kaiser's house.
Oh, was that the trip we hit the railroad
Yeah,
track?
that's
and
we
almost
jumped the
lost it?
railroad tracks, dude. We launched that.
That's right, I forgot about that. See, lots of good family memories.
We all
We
thought
were
we were
racing,
dead.
and yeah, we hit something we
We
weren't
weren't
expecting.
even racing.
Well, okay. We just don't know how to go slow. This is me running the 2012 Ultimate Adventure. And again, my mom out there. Okay, so this is when we got the car pretty dialed. We really worked with King to get the car dialed in, and we were starting to go pretty fast. We were. That's
Was that before or after you took it out with Darren?
that was the time I took it out with Darren, and he said his sternum hurt after coming back with me. So this picture is qualifying on Chocolate Thunder, of which I did a really good job. We were one of the fastest times. You had to go around the mountain. I remember this quite well. And we had Chocolate pretty dialed back then. It's quite a bit different now. Again, more media attention. We had a booth back then. Okay, here we go. Here's the start of Jordan. So we bought him a little, what was that thing, a 2002?
No,
TJ?
it was a 99.
99, okay. And we started putting it together with all old parts off my race car. In fact, that cage was out of the Growler.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
those panels and all that stuff. So that was pretty cool. I liked how we put that. Remember, you had my IVPs and all that. And Mom said that you had to keep the stock engine and tranny
Yep.
for your first year. And I took the tranny and had it built. So
Well,
it
you
was
missed the fact that was supposed to be my first car. You skipped that.
well, it ended up being the
Yeah.
first car.
No, like first,
daily.
first regular
Daily.
car.
Yeah, that was fun. Okay, so then
then,
there's
yeah.
another picture of it here, and this is back when we got Falcon to sponsor us. So now Falcon, Rockstar, things went into fast forward, and we were really sailing. We still had the Growler, but it was really kind of getting sidelined. There's Jordan and I. I remember this was the first time I drove it, and we took a 60-mile-an-hour pass through that sand wash. And
I think that was the first trip it was out.
yeah, thing ran good. So that was cool. Okay, and then here's the old car going up back door. That's Brian and I going up there.
That's back door.
No, that's the second
Second
leg.
leg.
Oh,
Second
yes,
leg.
Yeah. Oh, this is an interesting little sequence. You'll like this.
Oh yeah, I was there.
And by the way, this is just a roll. This is not a crash. That's just a roll. So no
Yeah.
big deal.
Looks like a roll.
Back then we had hospitality. Like we had a whole tent just for hospitality. I mean, things were cranking back then. Lauren Healy would come over and hang out with me. Jesse Combs. Like I had my own radio show. Do you remember all this, Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So things were booming pretty good. Then we did the color change, right? And this is when we got second place again, and Jordan now had the rap like us. He was stepping up the big leagues, and he still looks super young.
I think we only changed to yellow because you wanted the motorhome yellow,
Oh, that's right.
like
Yeah.
for visibility.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
that's
water
right.
spots.
Yeah.
Never
Cool
forget the
company.
water
Hey,
spots.
whatever. Okay, here's the first shot of the team where we were looking pretty official. The team consists of about 50 people, and I'll get into that in a minute of what happens and why we need so many people. This was the first year of the laser light show coming out of Hammertown
Oh,
Heights.
that goes on the hills.
Yeah. So, more excitement. Okay, and then the next year we changed to blue, and got everything matching. This is Jamie's first year to race.
Yep.
The race car and Jordan's car. So Jordan's car got a complete makeover because when it was yellow, he was leading the race by an hour when the rear bridge came off,
Yeah.
right? And then after that, Darren's like, "We're building a good car."
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That was right when we finished that.
that's when it turned into a real car, what it is today.
Yeah.
There we are. We had at that time K&M was a big sponsor of ours, and we were in their pit spot. Rockstar, Jordan in his car again. There's Gunner. They're
He
strategizing.
looks so young.
Nana.
When I was like 15.
He was like
I was
16.
like, no, I was probably 17.
You might have been
then
17.
Then you might have been
I was
17 or 18
Why
at
is
least.
Gunner look the
There's
exact same?
there's Wayne. He was helping us
What is
do the shock tuning, so that was cool. We got a nice picture with Wayne
Where's Wayne?
right there.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah. And then, here's all the people in Hammertown. I mean, I'm telling you, it's packed. Like, it's unbelievable. Oh, here's pictures that we're showing for the first time ever. This was the year that the front end on my car came apart, and I tossed it hard. Like, I literally thought I was dead. So the knuckle broke off. It broke the 1-inch shock shafts. It broke the steering. It broke everything. And it was bad news.
You were going fast when that happened.
I was going fast. And I was going to tell a story about how that is the Bermuda Triangle for the three of us.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't you talk
Did
about
you
that,
see
Jordan?
the map this year? It's in the race twice.
No.
Yes, we go that way through it, and we go that way through it.
Jeez. Okay, so tell everybody
How
what the
does that
Bermuda
work?
Triangle is.
So the Pellegrinos have what we call the Bermuda Triangle between does that mountain range have a name?
It's
where you
it's,
drop
it's
down.
the crossover. It's between the crossover and
Basically, like if you're driving out toward Outer Limits or Spooners, that
Yeah.
sand wash section of desert before you hit the lake bed, that is our little Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've all crashed or
Broken. It's like
extremely
it
hard.
ended the day there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, 2, maybe 3 times for me, at least twice for you, and once or twice for James.
one.
That was
once or twice.
So, anyways, when we say the Bermuda Triangle, we all know exactly where that is. So, All right, so I broke my arm in the crash, bent the steering wheel, messed up the meniscus in my knee. Like, it was not great, like, but we lived to tell the story. There's Jamie's side-by-side. It got built up pretty good, looking pretty trick.
That was like stage 1.
Jordan's car. We were all stoked about Jordan. There's our pit garage again. You can see both cars staged out of that. And there's James. Oh, there's James on back door.
Yeah.
That's pretty sketchy in a side-by-side, huh?
Yeah. Especially a Razor.
So they did say the back door's not in the race this year.
Yeah, no.
Really?
Nor
Either is
Cougar
Cougar
Boost.
Butte.
That's out too.
Yeah.
So I
Like
was
for
quite
all the
surprised.
classes?
For all the
Yeah,
classes.
all the classes.
Yep.
Anthony Paquette wants to know if Jordan's running his side-by-side this year.
No, we are not. So Honda decided to build 2 new cars for 2024, like Hammer-specific cars. So they opted to save some money, pull out of this year, and spend that money to build the new cars for next year. So we'll be back with Honda in 24.
Yeah, great question. Yeah. Do we have a lot of other questions, or is everybody being pretty quiet?
We've got a few questions. Zach Guptill asked, what's the best way to get involved on the race side? Be it pre-running, pits, or co-driving, driving.
That's a good question. I'll answer that. Let's blow through the rest of the slideshow, and then I'll get back to that one. There's James throwing a little dirt, the first berm. This was fun. We did a little photo shoot of the three of us, and a lot of happiness crossing the finish line there. That's a good shot going up the rock trail.
Mm-hmm.
And James hit the finish line. Yeah, buddy, that was good. That
one
was
and
fought
only.
hard. That was fought hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a good one.
so that was cool.
You know how much time you save when you don't roll in the pits?
So much time. So much time.
Oh man, there's Jordan again. Look at how young he looks. Again, coming around the berm, off the
Robert
jump.
Wheeler wants to know, how do you watch King of the Hammers if you're not there?
They do a live stream.
Ultra 4 has a lot. I think it's
On YouTube.
ultra4.com/live.
Yeah, it's going to be on YouTube, and I think it's all King of the Hammers now. They switched everything.
Yeah.
To King of the
Yeah,
Hammers.
and there's also an upgradable free version, or upgradable version that's actually free this year that gives you way more cameras and way less commercials. So
That's cool.
check out the Ultra 4 website, or King of the Hammers website. They'll be able to
okay.
direct you to that.
Okay, so I'll just kind of blip through these. You can see we've had lots of fun times. There's Shane. That was Shane's first time at KOH. Okay, so this is when we switched to Yokohama, right? Color changed on everything.
Yep.
You actually liked these tires on the side-by-side.
I did.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Those
were
were good.
equivalent to like a 33, and I think they designed them for like Class 1 cars or something.
Something
or,
like that,
Or
yeah.
maybe not Class 1, but some
Yeah, it
other
was the Class
desert car.
11s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bugs.
Yeah, bugs.
Same thing.
So,
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
and they had good rolling
Not
resistance,
really
low
the
rolling
same.
resistance. So,
Yeah, they were good.
okay, and this is the year that Jordan switched into my car. So we rewrapped everything, and then I let him take the wheel, and I kind of retired.
This was my first year there.
It was?
Yeah.
Was it?
Okay.
Was it?
Nice. Yeah, that I really liked that scheme.
Yeah.
Car looked hot, drove good. I had done a bunch of shock tuning on that, and Jordan finished the shock tuning, and that car still to this
Was
day
that-
is unbelievable.
That was the first year it had foxes on it too, right?
It is the first year.
Yeah.
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 So that was cool. There's our pit crew meeting inside the tent. So that's the what we call the garage area. And then what's the next one? Oh, coming down back door with Bailey right on your butt. So that is the actual back door. Then let's see. Here's Jordan at the finish line, which is great. Finished his first year. Our sponsors were very happy. That's Darren that built the car, so that's cool. There's me and Jordan. That's probably for qualifying or something.
I think that was me.
Yeah,
but
it was you.
Was it you?
Either way,
Oh,
it's okay. Don't worry.
oh yeah,
about
it
it.
is.
okay.
Yeah, there you go. Jamie, I switched to Jamie.
I've learned to accept it.
Ari says, time to pull that car out of retirement and return to racing.
I know. Okay, now we're into 2019, right?
I think so. Yeah.
That was the first year.
First year
Yeah.
of the unicorn. And it truly was a unicorn back then.
Yes.
It had a lot of potential.
Kind of.
It did.
It still is. It still
did.
does.
It did.
Still does.
It did, and it does.
Yeah.
It's just a little.
So there we are. We're happy. Mickey Thompson became the sponsor. That was awesome. We love working with those guys. This is Jordan and I out pre-running. So Terremoto's always been out there. There's a great picture of Jordan with the Hammertown in the background. There's the pit guys, looking at brakes and rotors and stuff.
Alan is here. Now it's a party.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's Jordan getting ready to take off on something, I'm sure.
Oh, side by side.
This was kind of a cool shot. I took this with my cell phone back when Jordan qualified fourth in that car. This is now we're in 2020. So that's cool. And there's a great example of
Cougar
a portals in Cougar Buttes. Look at that thing he's going over, like unbelievable. So that's pretty cool. And then in 2020 was the year that I also raced. So Jordan and I came up with a strategy that I would be running behind him. So if he needed any help, then I could bring parts or whatever, just an extra 2 sets of hands to help work on it if that's what we needed. And so that's how we ended up racing the Terremoto that year. Oh, my finger got kind of crazy on there.
Butterfingers.
Yeah, so anyways, we, got out there. My dad was there. Nick Repinich, a longtime friend of mine, was my co-driver. That worked out great. He and I are a great fit on that. He helped me prep the car and everything. That's out of Cougar Buttes. There's some wheelie I decided to do, qualifying, and the finish. That's always the most important part,
I think
right?
I was waving the flag at the
I
finish.
think you were. Here, can I go back and see you?
I think that's the second time I've
Doesn't
done
like
it for you.
Nice. And then here, you drive through the arch and come over to the stand, which is, you drive up on there and behind the big screen there. So that was cool. Got to talk to everybody. There we are, dusty and
dirty.
thirsty. That's how it always is, right, Jordan?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got Jordan's car here, and that's the kind of a cool shot in Sledge.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a shot with Jeff pre-running. This is out of Cougar Buttes. I don't know if you remember that. We got some lunch.
This is last year. That's when I lost my muffler.
That was when your muffler fell off.
Hey.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was pretty
My
funny.
Jeep sounds a lot like a race car right now.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Then, again,
Side by side.
we had the whole
race
team in there
mile
for a big meeting.
Freaking folded under.
What else we got? They always have that. That's the sticker when you finish. And then there's the current team. So it's about 50 people, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then here's Jordan's Lamborghini. It's been rebuilt, cut apart, rebuilt.
Looks so good.
Bigger, better. I really like this graphic a lot better. And still running on Mickey Thompson's. And we got a lot of great shots of this car. It's just unbelievable. It is truly like a spaceship. There's Jordan, of course. How old are you now, Jordan?
Oh, 24.
24. So, still a pup. Yeah, probably
Scott
doesn't
Morse
feel like it.
says he's super bummed that they took out the backdoor shootout this year.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird.
I'm actually glad it's out of the race. I would
No,
have
the
liked.
shootout.
I know, but I would have liked to see the shootout there.
I would have liked to have seen the shootout
Oh,
there,
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Isn't it on chocolate now?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
on like
Pretty
chocolate-
much.
Just in time.
They're
The day
just gonna
before.
clap out chocolate.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
go qualify on it.
Yeah.
Although if chocolate's in bad shape, we'll be happy it was there.
Maybe.
True,
Maybe.
They might clear it out a little.
Yeah.
Mellow it out.
There's Gunner, Jordan's co-driver with all his radios. Yeah.
Gunner.
There we go, tech and contingency. Jordan signing some autographs for the
Bean.
folks. And then we get to the race, and the portals started acting up. The stub shafts just were not happy. The team, along with Jordan, got out and tried to get that thing fixed as quick as they could. There's Jordan in the mix of it. And this is at the remote pit. And then it broke again at Chocolate Thunder. So there's
The
Jordan
other
Gunner out
side
there.
broke,
Yeah.
The other
right?
side broke.
Yeah.
And then after that, the transmission cooler let go.
Like 2 or 3 miles from the finish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
at,
close.
At resolution.
Very close.
Yeah.
Just around the corner.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
That was a rough year.
it was a rough year.
sucks.
Yeah, and this is Jordan after he came back in, looking like I did, very dusty and
I don't think we've gotten beat down that hard and just kept getting stepped on.
Yeah, but you kept going.
Ever.
you
No, I
did keep
know.
going. That
Kept
was good.
going.
that was good.
It
You
was
get A
just
for effort.
not our day.
Yeah. So now,
Yeah,
here we go.
baby.
Here's the 4500 car that Peter got. It's now wrapped like the Terremoto and the Lamborghini, and ready for this year's. Here's Peter and Jeff out there. They just ran it, and they were going back over the car. Had all their tools out, very organized and methodical. Jeff was mounting some new 37s on some race line wheels, and lots of tires and wheels in the shop. There's the Lamborghini up in the air with the
With a bunch of union workers.
yeah. This is how I find them.
We
most
were
of the
actually
time.
discussing something.
Car related?
Yes, very
That's
much so.
funny.
They were talking about what to get from Taco Bell.
So,
We
yeah,
might have
probably.
been slightly talking about
Right
what's
about
for
that.
dinner.
And And then you can see all the parts. They put everything on carts. It's all well organized and ready to go back on the car. I don't know if I have. That's it. That's the end of the slideshow. Okay, so now let's go back to the questions. The question was, how do you get involved? You certainly need to let us know. You can email me, message me, and if we need help, I can get you somehow involved. It also, getting involved, being on the team is quite a commitment, and it also means that you will be stationary at one point somewhere, right? So you might be stuck at Maine or out at one of the pits, but you will not be able to move around and see the rest of the race. What you do get is a behind-the-scenes look at how it all happens. And you can hear on the radio where the car's at and what's going on. It's quite interesting. Jeff, maybe you can add to that. Because you've been on the team for a few, or both of you, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it is commitment. It's super fun though. But then you hear about stuff. You have to go home and watch it on YouTube like 2 days later
Right.
to even comprehend like what happened.
What happened,
Like
yeah.
if you're part of the team, you know what happens to Jordan throughout the day.
you know
and
everything
and
that
you hear
happens.
who won. But besides what happened, besides that, you have no idea until you get home and watch it. But
Yeah.
it's still a ton of fun just being involved.
What were you going to say, Jim?
We do need a couple mobile people, preferably in Jeeps, to do two media people.
Yeah, so,
for us
okay.
and our one, but
So-
that's separate.
So that requires that you have intimate knowledge of the hammers and know how to get around without getting lost, because there's no, basically to beat the race car somewhere, you have to be on it.
Yes.
And that's super important. Jordan, you want to say anything about team guys or somebody wanting to get involved? You're actually the one that would be vetting somebody.
Yeah. I mean, it really, I don't know. Unless you have like a specific thing that you are very good at, you know, if you come to me and say, hey, I'm, you know, really good at wrenching, or I'm really good at, you know, cleaning part, like whatever. There are people that come to us and just say like, hey, I just want to do something. Like, what can I do? I'll do it, whatever, it doesn't matter. And those people are super helpful and super handy. You know, and that's great because sometimes I'll need, you know, someone to go run into town to get parts. Sometimes I'll need someone to just help me clean something, and then I can put it back on the car or whatever.
Yeah.
But definitely, I mean, like you guys were saying, like knowing the area is super helpful if you do have a Jeep. So if we're out and we need something, or, you know, during race day, we need you to meet us or go from pit 1 to pit 2 with parts or whatever. That's also super helpful, but that's not mandatory. You know, you could hop in with somebody that
Yeah,
knows.
the other thing that I would mention is once you're on a team, if you screw up, you can also get the driver disqualified.
Yeah.
So that's the other side of it, is it carries a ton of responsibility. So and once you're on a higher profile team, you know, whether it's us or Campbell's or Healy or Shearer, everybody wants to know what's going on. So you got a lot of heads poking inside the tent wanting to know what's going on with our car, how are we doing, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'll almost call it like a lot of espionage going on. So, but on that competitive, you know, there's 10 guys out there that could win. So everybody wants to know where they're at and what's going on, right? So what other questions have you got?
Nick Refnich, funny company, said,
Yeah.
nobody told me about this Pellegrino triangle. Here I am saying faster. You just want to keep that from your co-driver?
I'm not saying anything. I don't want to like get him
Didn't want
freaked
to
out.
jinx it? What is it,
It's
Jake?
there, Nick. I think it's race mile. Isn't it like?
What is this?
Well, it's right here.
What is this?
What
A
mile is that?
2014 map? What is this?
Oh, that's what's it say on your map in front of you?
Well, it
Jordan?
says, yeah,
That's
I
19.
thought it was like 92 to 90 something.
So on the 2019 map, it's like 147, 146, 145.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, that's exactly what it
No,
is.
no.
on like the
It's right
baseline,
here.
out to outer limits?
Yeah.
Mine was just after that.
I think it's in this range, Jim, right here.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's between
but this
outer
one
limits
says
and that mountain
63,
range, so-
64, 65.
No, it's not going that way. It's not going toward Emerson. It's the other way.
Okay, 63 and
It's right here.
8.
Yeah, that's where I went down, right there.
I've gone down multiple
Yeah.
times right there.
I went down like
I guess you
right
quit
here.
doing that.
I went down there.
Jordan's getting a lot of love from comments, just like, hope to see you on the podium, best wishes from Florida, the Real Hammers experience left me wanting more too. Let's see you on the podium this year, Jordan.
Travis said that.
I hope so.
So let
what?
me tell everybody about
Real
one
Hammers
thing that
experience,
nobody knows about. So when we did this last Real Hammers experience, Jordan took off first, and I took off right behind him. Jamie and I did, and Jordan absolutely skunked us. So even my best time I've ever done on that course, Jordan beat it by 2 hours. And, he was under 2 hours for running that course in his race car. So that car is absolutely unbelievably fast. And
that was 11 trails. 11 Hammers trails.
Yeah, in a row.
I think it was
at speed.
Hour and
51 minutes. Yeah. That's
Plus some
incredible.
curveballs like the rain ruts.
Yeah.
Pretty much come to a halting stop because
Yeah,
they'll
so
follow your vehicle.
We should definitely mention that. So Jordan, we hear over the radio that Jordan's calling out, like, there's some bad rain ruts, like, you need to be heads up, like, they're super dangerous, right?
Me and
So
Cole didn't hear
we're
that.
driving along. We see these little ones, that are like a foot
We didn't hear
deep.
that.
We're like, whatever. Like, come on, man. Then we come to one that's like that. Our entire Jeep would have just gone inside of it, and they would have never found us. So we're like, whoa! And I heard everybody did the same thing, like, whoa!
Yeah. But even after the little ones, there were a few like medium ones. They're like, oh, that must have been it. I had to check up for it and then gun it. And they're like, oh, this is what he's talking about. Let's reroute a half mile out of the freaking way.
I think
least you
the
guys
only
got a
one we
warning.
saw was the big one.
I saw 2 big ones.
That was like the only one we saw.
It was
But
bad.
yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, Jordan killed it on that, which was awesome. What other questions have you got?
Jerome asked, any trails of concern this year for Jordan?
I know one
I
that
can't
should.
say yes or no yet, but
King's Veto going up.
You never know.
it's honestly, so we just went and walked it the very
Yeah.
last time we were at the Hammers. And it looked a lot more broken in. Like,
Yeah.
it looked like a more wheelable trail. Because you know how last year when we went and ran it, and you ran Terremoto down
It was like virgin.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
dude, it was
Like Alan was thinking about doing it.
yeah.
And we had to talk him out of it. But the whole time I'm thinking like, this actually
We
kind of
could
looks
probably-
doable.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying I'm worried about it. I mean, again, it's a tough trail. And
there's new
it's-
ones
it's
that we
gonna
don't
give
even
us
know
run
what they
for our
look
money.
like,
Those are going
right?
to be the ones that
Are the wild
are
card.
the maybe concerned, maybe not, you know,
Yeah.
because there's three new
Yeah.
trail, brand new, like totally virgin trails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited to see what Dave's thrown into the race and kind of get some new trails out there.
The one that I found interesting was he goes, you can get to the mailbox any way you want.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
I
What
think
are you
that's,
talking
I
about?
think that's just for limited.
That's only for EMC.
Yeah. I thought it was for.
I don't think that's
We
44
both
also.
got the impression that 44 had a designated line.
Oh. Okay.
But me and Peter get to decide what line. I mean, I think we can see Jack coming over that
Yeah,
ridge,
yeah.
and if that's super messed up, then we can go
That-
sledge. But
Yeah, that part of it was kind of unclear. My guess, that what I took from it was 4400 has to run Jack on lap 2 and Sledge on lap 3.
That's what I took out of it,
Kind
too.
of what I took from it.
Okay. Interesting. What else you got over there?
Are you going to take Terremoto on the Monday night shootout?
It's signed up already. I signed them up. Yeah.
I've always wanted to do it. I'd love to school some of those yahoos.
Just let Alan do it.
Yeah.
Is he doing it? He keeps joking about it. Is he actually?
I don't know.
He doesn't.
He just spent some serious cash to get his Jeep
Oh,
back together.
God.
Yeah, and he was wanting to do it when it was backdoor because he was on a high from making it. But now that is the hard parts of Truck with Thunder idle issues. I don't know that he will.
I think he'd be down.
Don't rule me out.
We'll
Don't
sign,
rule me
we'll
out.
sign Alan up too.
What else you got?
Kathy asked, can I buy the map of the Hammers course that you have in front of you?
So these are available on site. I don't know if they have them on their website or not, but
Wait,
this
this
is a
one?
laminated
We'll let go of
version.
this one for 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can buy the current.
think they're
You
25
can buy the
bucks.
current
Yeah.
year's
Yeah.
map,
And they're cool.
at the Ultra 4 like merchandise
Well,
semi.
You got to get there early though.
At
Yeah,
KOH.
yeah. I think they still sell the paper ones, but they only have a certain amount of these laminated ones.
Yeah.
But you
and if
can't buy them until like the week.
Yeah, if you
No.
can get these laminated ones, get these because
Yeah.
the paper ones don't.
Don't hold up.
They barely last
Yeah.
through the week.
Yeah.
Here's a good question. What are our thoughts on Dave Cole announcing the race course early? Good or bad?
That was unusual.
It
How
was.
early?
He's
It
never
was.
done that before.
He's never done that before.
How early?
Well, usually waits till we're on the lake bed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but
Last night on the live, he shared.
I
whole
think
thing.
it was. Personally, I think it was cool because
part of
it's
it.
not gonna leave us totally like figuring everything
To
out
scramble
when
that
we get
morning,
there. You
right.
know, usually
Yeah.
like we have no idea where we're even gonna pre-run. You know, like,
And it's not like we have the GPX file.
no. We're
So-
like,
correct.
don't get us wrong. Like we're not gonna be able to go out and run it, but just having a general idea of mileage
That
and where
helps.
we're going.
Yeah.
I do like that,
Oh.
and I don't think anyone has a advantage now. I
Advantage,
wouldn't say
yeah.
like any
Yeah.
racer has an advantage.
And it's super cool, especially for the KOH rookies, that they get to kind of
Yeah, totally.
a little bit, get a little insight and
sure.
or more than just being blindsided on the lake
For
bed.
sure. Yeah. No, I like the courses here. I think it'll be good.
Cool.
Yeah, like
All
to
right,
hear
what
that,
else we got?
George.
Yeah.
Will you be sending it down back door, Jordan?
No, backdoor's not in the race, so I don't plan on it.
No, I like the back door.
If I'm sending it down back
thought it
door
was
during
fun.
the race,
There was
there's a
some
bigger
stuff that's
problem.
going down.
So
Yeah.
I actually see 100% Dave's point where like it's not fun anymore because and entertaining because everybody just wants to either winch up it or
Yeah.
bypass. It's just
Yeah. Actually,
crazy
let's
now.
talk about that for a second.
Yeah, going up. It's
If the race course goes up, it's on the third lap, and you're 150 miles into a 250-mile race. So you've already made it through the worst. The statistics are 50% of the racers are out by mile 50. So once you get rid of half the group, right? There's only 100 racers. You get rid of half of them. Now you're out there and you can really battle. So, but it's you against the course, right? So if you take on backdoor, your chances of stressing something out that will, maybe you don't break on backdoor, but I can tell you this, for the number of years I've raced, I've seen a guy drive up it, go right around the corner and break on the next rock. And then they're broken all the way up resolution. You're stressing that, you've already stressed the car, and to stress it again, you're better it's quicker to winch it. It really is.
For sure. And
For sure.
I like the last time they went up, I think drivers had a choice on what lap to do it, right?
They did, yeah. So
Yeah,
every,
trying to get
every,
the bottleneck away.
yeah, you just had to do it one lap.
Yeah, every year they made us go up for the last few years.
Yeah.
You can choose it.
Yeah,
choose
which
what
I
you
don't
do.
I don't like it when they do that because I feel like they lose track of who did what. But whatever.
I think
I like it
I think
'cause-
it's fine going down.
yeah,
Like going down to me is entertaining
yeah,
Going down's not horrible.
because if someone rolls over, just drive over them.
yeah.
Traction.
Traction.
Yeah, monster truck.
All right, what else you got?
Jerome asked, what are your thoughts on the plaque line rock having fallen over on Sledgehammer? Does it make that trail any harder?
I don't know. I'm gonna go check it out this weekend.
Fell over?
Yeah,
The
Yeah,
the
apparently
big
the
pointy
plaque,
one?
the
one
rock
that
that
the
the actual
plaque's
plaques
on.
are on is like on its side,
Yeah.
completely shifted.
What?
Yeah,
doesn't-
so
Did you
we're
not
gonna
watch
go
live
up there
last
this
night?
weekend and check it out.
I watched like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Huh.
What else you got? Anything, Jeff?
Maybe I'll go back.
Oh, here's one. What is the most common part to break at KOH?
Oh,
Depends on what car you're driving.
what would you say, Jordan? For a lot of years, it
I
was
mean,
the tranny.
for us or like just generally
say
speaking. I mean,
general.
I
Yeah,
feel
general.
like
Across the board.
I
probably.
feel like generally speaking, like tires are the highest consumed
Yeah.
item out
Tires and
there.
then steering.
Yeah,
I'd
steering
say
parts,
tires, steering, drive shaft, or drive shaft.
drive shafts, axle shafts.
Stub
A lot of
shafts.
people blow transmissions.
that-
Mainly drivetrain,
Yeah.
related parts, but tires are a very high consumed
Yeah.
item out there.
Yeah.
What about electrical?
Yeah, a lot of people have
Failures.
electrical gremlins. Yeah,
A lot of people have that.
yeah, for sure.
Literally everything happens out there.
Yeah,
Anything that can break.
and we've had stuff that we've never had issues with. Like my belt fell off that
Oh,
one time in
yeah.
qualifying. Like we've never had a belt fall off.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever's never broken before, that would be the biggest thing to look
So,
at.
I wonder if there'll be more flats hammers than at Legend of the Falls in Disney Nationals.
Yeah, that was.
I feel like
heard
everybody had
something.
like 3 flats.
I know.
There's gonna be 0 flats.
Can you talk about
For
the
us.
cost of racing
Oh,
King of the
yeah.
Hammers?
Yeah, so
Talk about
you know, originally they did a stock class that basically would let you bring a vehicle out on 35-inch tires, and they run an abbreviated course. It's still the Hammers, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy because you're going to be diffing out on everything. But people do it. Very few people finish, and you're going to have got to buy a helmet, a neck restraint, a fire suit, and you got to meet all the safety stuff. So you're going to be, even if you just took your vehicle as it was and went out there, it's still going to be $5+ grand to just go do that.
And
So
that's not counting whatever you damage in the process.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
See, I think
fresh
stock
back
class
up.
would be so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about that at one point?
So stock class means you got to stay on the original type of suspension. So if it came with leaf springs, you got to still have leafs. If it came with coil springs, you still got to have coils. You cannot lengthen or shorten the wheelbase. Everything's got to stay pretty stock in that regard. So those are some of the considerations for that. There's just a lot of hidden expenses, you know, in addition to entry fee and some of that. But if you got the bug, it's a great way to come out and see if you have what it takes. Don't forget, you as a driver still got to find a navigator, co-driver, and a team, right? You got 4 pits that you got to man, and you're going to need at least one person there with a gas can or a wrench. So
Just one wrench.
Does
it all.
Crescent,
And one
yeah, crescent.
Yeah.
So that's a good question though.
Zach said, I feel like the most broken thing at Hammers is egos.
Yeah.
And Summer Ann asked Jordan, what is the most common thing you specifically have had issues with, and how have you prepared or tried to prepare for that this year?
I mean, honestly,
Catheter,
with
smaller
this,
What was
this car has definitely given us a run for our money. We've spent a lot of time, especially this year, since we put the whole new front end on it, new suspension, dialing things in. We've had our fair share of little gremlins this year, but I think we've gotten a lot of stuff worked out. I mean, what if we busted?
a lot of it is you knowing the car and how hard you can push
Yeah,
it. You know,
yeah,
you can
yeah.
break
It is.
anything, right?
That's a
No, you
big
can
part
definitely
of
It
it.
is, but
Somebody asked me, Jordan, like, how do you drive so well when you get so few days out there because you're always working on the car?
Me personally?
Yeah,
Like this year?
yeah, maybe you have 10 days total, maybe.
It's
Helps
just,
growing up
it's
there.
just muscle memory. It really is. I mean, you just remember what it does and how it feels, and it's
Like how it reacts.
it's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
You ride a bike, you know how to ride
Great
a bike.
answer.
You can
Great
park the bike
answer.
for 5 years and
Yeah.
jump right back on and keep riding. It's
but the what specifically breaks the most for you, or you have trouble with, is a hard question for you because there's still a lot of new
there's-
technology
Well,
in
and
that
it
car.
moves.
I don't
moves.
even feel
Well,
like we
yeah,
constantly break
it's-
the
it's
same
all
thing.
new.
You know, it's.
There's no. I wouldn't say
I
there's
wouldn't
any
say there's
one
like
thing.
there is not one thing on this car that
Maybe I should be
constantly
asking, what was your most constant thing you had problems with on the 4500 car?
Nothing, dude. That car just went. Oh my God. Dude, I love that thing.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I love
That's
that
what
car.
I wanted to hear.
Kush Dog asked, how do you feel about qualifying on Chocolate Thunder?
Again, different. I'm not totally sure. I don't know. I like that it's different. I don't know how the trail's gonna look. I mean, nobody knows.
could
I think it'll be
change,
fun.
yeah.
It'll be a cool little change. It's a lot more rock than previous year's qualifying courses. I would say this year's qualifying loop is probably 75% rock, generally speaking, versus years past where I'd say it's
Like 50.
15. No, I wouldn't even say that. I'd say it's like 20% rock.
Yeah, I mean that
Yeah.
was like
That's
that
mostly
was
high
like
speed.
short
So,
bus.
yeah.
and-
It's definitely a flip on how the past probably 5 years have been for qualifying. So
More than that, I'm a little disappointed. First year I'm actually part of being in a car. I've been going there watching the awesome infield qualifying
Yeah.
course, and the first
And
year I'm
now
in the
it's gone.
car,
Yeah.
it's changed.
it's definitely going to be a longer loop. It'll probably be a 4 minute loop versus years past where it's been like a 2 minute loop. So I don't know. It'll be different.
It's going to be interesting because
Yeah.
Dave said even if a car rolls up here, he's sending to the next guy.
I know.
So,
I don't know.
And do you feel like that is a super fast section for you?
It's
Not
it's
fast as the short
quick,
course.
but it's not. It's quick, but it's not fast. Like, we're gonna be going just as fast through those rocks as, the other top 20 guys. So,
Right.
I
It
don't know.
evens the playing field.
It does.
Yeah.
It does even the playing field, which is cool. I mean, it's good. But no, I don't think we have any particular advantage on that qualifying course.
I do think the new qualifying course is prone to more carnage and possibly braking in qualifying.
Or
than-
damaging the car.
Yeah,
Or
than,
damaging
Yeah.
than the short course.
Yeah.
Vinyl
And
asks,
it's going to change.
independent or axles?
Independent.
You're asking the
Ah.
wrong guy over
He
there.
even wants to turn my budget YJ into.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
he was the
gonna-
first one that had independent front and rear suspension.
I'm gonna
so.
put FIS on the YJ.
Speaking of that, Dennis said, I think you guys should run the stock class in the YJ4 shop.
Dude, that's what I'm
what I
saying.
Yeah, we've all been talking about
I
this.
just told
It's
Jeff.
not
Yeah.
too late.
If you've seen Jordan drive that thing, he's a wild man in it.
No,
Well, that's what it's gonna be what it takes.
We will
I just
win.
told Jeff, me and him should do that
Yeah.
so that he gets to
In my
see the
Jeep?
course.
You're
Yeah.
not racing my Jeep. You can race your own Jeep.
No, I don't think my Jeep qualifies for that class, man.
Funny stuff.
Yeah, how quick can we find a stock TJ?
Isn't there one in the yard?
Wait, what?
That's an LJ.
Oh, LJ.
Even
It
better.
would be better. better.
Let's go.
What about Rob's?
That's the one.
We're gonna start a
Oh, that one?
GoFundMe for us racing stock class.
Yeah, right.
Do we
We'll
still have
put a
questions?
third
Chance
seat in the
Indigo
back
asks
in the middle.
Jordan,
And they can
Jamie,
ride with.
and Tony,
Yeah, and then Jordan goes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm listening. Don't mind them.
What?
how long does it take you to recover after running KOH?
Oh, that's a great question. So I was going to tell everybody, on race day you lose 6 pounds. Like it's a cage fight. You're running a marathon. So it can be
It
anywhere
really
from.
depends.
Well,
on
we
how
would always
much
have to
you
do
have
the
to drink
KOH
after the race.
experience the day after. Remember that?
Yeah.
So we had to pull it together quick. But you're sore. I mean,
I mean, this last year was different with all my burns and stuff, but like this last year, it was probably 2 or 3 weeks before, like,
You were like normal.
my burns went away enough to where I could like
you
feel
had
my whole
some
body.
deep burns though, so
The-
those, I
yeah.
think those stuck around for longer than that.
It was at least a month.
You
Yeah.
probably still got a scar.
what about you, James? How long did it
2
take
scars.
you to recover?
Like from doing the razor
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
The racer thing.
Like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
But I didn't have tranny fluid on my,
Right. Skin.
Yeah.
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 Okay. What other questions you got?
Michael Ruzicka said, I'm loving going back to that old qualifying course. Drove it with Tony back in 2012. Triple E
Yes.
ticket ride.
Yes, he did. That time we bicycled. I pulled it off, and then we hit the ground and bicycled the other way, and we pulled it back off. And I was like, dude, we're using up too many of our 9 lives right here.
Wait, on chocolate?
Yeah, because it went around the back. Remember, you went up and over chocolate and around the
yeah.
back. Yeah, when he and I went around the back, it just hooked up, and I was like, what is going on? But that's great. I appreciate him commenting on that.
What size fuel tank do you use, and what kind of range do you get on a full tank while racing King of the Hammers?
Great question, Jordan.
So our cell in the car is about 38 gallons usable. We get about 0.75 miles to the gallon in the rocks, and we get about 3 miles to the gallon in the desert. So
Practically a hybrid.
yeah, the rock loops, we have to be super careful that we get all of our fuel mapping out right, that we don't run out of rocks or run out of fuel in the rocks. Desert's a little bit easier to figure out because it's a little bit more constant, but yeah, we get extremely horrible gas mileage, less than a mile a gallon in the rocks. So, yeah, good question.
Jordan, what happened to your seat last year? Gunner wants to know.
Gunner.
I figured he'd
Ask
be
him what
on.
happened to his seat.
Probably still has scabs.
That exhaust is a little too close.
Him and I both got
Like 3rd-degree burns.
semi second or 3rd degree burns on
Yeah.
our butts.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Mark Lawrence asked, do you think Dave's thoughts are to get some weak builds out before the race with that qualifying course?
Yeah, I mean that's
Just
gonna
to like narrow it out.
yeah that'll
Could
shake
be.
them out
I
for
mean,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's gonna be people like. Well, I mean, there always is. But
I don't
I don't
go
think there's gonna
crazy.
be like more people not making the actual race because they wanted it.
Yeah,
to
I would,
qualify.
and I wouldn't say that's his intent,
Yeah.
because I think that's what the
I don't know.
question is.
I stopped by Dave's 2 weeks ago, and he told me that he wants very few people to finish. Like he's making this super hard.
So that could be part of why
Could be
he's
part of it.
making the qualifying course a little more
Yeah, to kind of weed them out.
rockish. Yeah.
Nick wants to know, does Jeff have to work on Monday?
That's a good question. He will have been gone for a while, so yeah, probably.
I don't know. Well, you say that now until we wake up and you're like, all right, let's just stay because we don't want to wait in traffic for
Right.
7 hours.
Right.
And last year I was like, no, it'll clear up. And then I sat in traffic for 7 hours and I was
Yeah,
like,
it was
man,
bad.
Dude,
I should
it's-
have just stayed.
it's-
I don't know what you
Sucks.
guys did wrong. I got out of there like
Yeah.
On Sunday?
on.
After the
Yeah,
day after the
Sunday.
race?
Sunday, I
I
left-
thought you said till Monday.
No,
I'm just gonna-
Sunday.
I'm just
so-
gonna rail the bushes.
No,
man.
Sunday I got out there quick. I left at like 4 p.m. and I only
I'm
took me
driving
like
off
hour and
road
a half.
all
Okay.
the way to
I tried getting
Cougars.
up right after we cleaned up pit.
No, bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
I was after sleeping in my enclosed trailer for 10 days. I was ready
Do we
to
have
go.
more questions?
Any tips for newbies on the lake bed?
Oh, Jeff, that you would answer that
Bring
because you were
toilet
quite
paper.
surprised
Watch the
when you
weather.
came.
What was I
Yeah,
surprised
watch the
Bring,
weather.
bring clothes according to
Watch
what
the
the weather
weather.
says.
Bring way more layers than you thought you would have to bring.
I was gonna say plus some.
Yeah, yeah, man. Some days you wake up, be 29 out, and then it'll get up to like 60 that day. Then at night, just starts draining back down.
Yeah.
Chapstick.
Be prepared for wind,
Lotion.
rain, snow. We've had it all.
it's extremely hard. It's not hard, but it's a real pain in the butt to go into town once you're there. So try
Yeah,
to
it's a-
bring
yeah, it's a-
everything
it's a
you
pain to
need.
We're
get
not
back
talking
in.
Hammertown to go back to civilization.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
talking like
Yeah,
to go
to
back to,
leave,
something
yeah.
that has power.
It's
and
very
lights.
hard
Yeah.
because
Bring
everybody
ev-
comes and goes on one road.
Correct. Yeah, just bring everything you need.
Yeah.
And more.
Yeah, don't
Before
be
you
like,
get
oh,
there.
well, I'll just
Yeah.
leave and go get some more beer or gas or what. Like it's a long way away. Yeah.
Zach Guptill asked, do you all think JV is going to be torn up and muddy? Been watching the weather and it seems like it's going to be rough.
It dries out pretty quick.
JV
It's-
dries out really quick,
it's
but
the desert.
it's,
But you never
it's
know.
you never know. If we get weather that week, that's what's going to matter.
Yeah.
All this gnarly weather we've been having out there isn't
Yeah.
going to. If it
Yeah.
stops right now, it's going to be totally dry by the time we get there.
And I'm famous for saying it's the desert. It obviously doesn't rain much there.
Vinyl asked, what are your favorite sections?
Favorite sections.
Oh, that's a good question. We haven't had that one
That is a
before.
good question.
Finish line section.
Yeah, right. Sitting on the stage with a beer. No, honestly, I mean, this car loves the desert, and I love driving it fast, so that's always a blast. But I also do love the technical rocks in it. I really wouldn't say I have a favorite section, honestly. I don't. Do you have a favorite section, or any of you guys?
I've always liked Race Mile 1
Very small one's cool. Very
because
small one's
it's
cool.
just brutal and it just shakes out most of the dudes.
Yeah.
I remember the first year I raced and people's stuff, spare tires and tool bags and
Oh, yeah.
all kinds of stuff was falling off. And I was like, oh, this is great. It's
Yeah.
like a garage sale as I'm going by.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, people
Caleb
were pretty ill prepared back then.
Barber said, I didn't hear anything about the UTV grudge match coming back. Kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that either.
I didn't hear anything about
I
that
don't know
either.
what that is.
Yeah.
It was like a short course race after the main UTV race with the top 10 finishers or something.
Oh.
They all raced the short course for like 10 grand or something. I don't know.
See, that's what we're talking about being part of the team. There's a lot that
There's so
you're
much-
so involved
We
with
don't get
your
to see
team.
any of that.
Half the stuff going on there, you don't even know that's going on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, when we first get there, it's all about pre-running. We
Yeah.
get the garage set up and go pre-run.
I mean, I can't even think of
For days.
I can't even think of the last time in the last few years that I've like went and watched another one of the races going on.
No,
Right.
just
Like,
Cole's
I missed-
class 11.
Yeah, we did get to watch
Sunflower
that
Racing
last year,
shout out.
But I've missed the trophy trucks. I've missed EMC. There's just so much personally going on that week. It's
Yeah.
hard to
Yeah.
get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More questions?
Mike Rosiska asked Jordan, who's your biggest competition besides yourself?
Myself. My car. No, I mean
that's
honestly,
what I
there's a lot of good drivers out there this year. Again, the sport is getting older, and everyone is gaining more experience. Everyone is building better cars.
I mean, any of the
It-
previous kings.
God, yeah,
You know.
it's the list of people to watch out for is constantly growing. So I can't really say any one in particular, but no, definitely, I am definitely my biggest competition.
And Miranda said, since I'm not able to make it this year, Jamie needs to make me some baby onesie team gear.
Oh boy.
We used
There
to
you
have
go.
that stuff.
Well, yeah, we might
onesie
still have
team
some of
gear.
that stuff. Is there
No,
none?
they've been gone
Our
for a
our
while.
team shirts for a baby.
Gotcha. We might be able to.
We used to have ones that said future crawler.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
That was cool.
If we can get some onesies, I could just get Travis to do some iron-ons
Yeah,
or something.
there you go.
Oh, beautiful.
So, I don't know. Tell her to message me. But we're like 10 minutes over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it looks like that's about it for questions. We did have a
Okay.
lot of comments saying thank you for the Christmas gifts.
Oh, awesome. Yes. Everybody's welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying them. And thanks for being loyal Tech Talk watchers. We really appreciate that too. So we hope to keep bringing you shows that you want to see. Sorry I didn't figure out what next show is. I was trying to work that out so I could tell you what it would be. But it'll be great. So tune in next Wednesday for sure. All right. I think I can say goodbye for everybody. Thanks again. And we'll see you next Wednesday.